Good morning from Australia. This is Boy. Oh, not Boy George. Yes, I got my Boy George hat on. Look at this. People say I'm crazy. It is. And welcome to Bray White here. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Life Theories with myself and the beautiful Diana over in. Whoa, hang on. There's light there. God, I think someone's speaking to us already. Di, the light's coming through. The light's coming through.
We always are.
How are you? Hey, these Life Theories with Di from Virginia, USA. And me from down under in Australia with my Boy George hat on. I've got my Karma Chameleon happening. Colour by Numbers, great album. Anyway, that's just some random fact. But how wide is it? Ooh. What's going on here? So what's been happening with you?
Oh my goodness. Well, let's just say I was like, I was feeling good. I passed some tests that I would say from the universe, like even stuff with my dad that I've been working on for my whole life. Everything is like past karma stuff. Working on stuff with self-worth. Guys, I'm like, I finally beat this level of this. I'm like, cool, I got it, this. And then I was like, universe, I was like, I'm ready for the next, this is good, And then, bam, it's hitting me with like stuff, different layers of stuff that I thought I worked on, which I guess I give myself credit. I'm not beating myself up here. It's just a lot. Things I've been working on for a while, patterns, I give myself credit for how far I've come. And for me, during the holiday season, right, with Thanksgiving and stuff, when I went through my addictions.
Oh, happy Thanksgiving too. Sorry, that would be rude. Yeah, but still.
That was a time when I had trouble with my addiction, like holidays trigger me, so I already have that. And then there's just a few other things, and I'm being aware of what these
people
things
don't realize that, do they? How the I worked as an undertaker there for a while. And it was a great job because I was giving dignity to the dead, being honest. And you said about the holidays triggering. Man, people don't realise how much the holidays trigger a lot of stuff. I think I'll leave it at that. Otherwise, if I keep going, there's going to be a censorship on this.
I think it's also because we have expectations of how we feel things should be, right? It could be just consuming things. It could be family. I should have this happy whatever family, marriage, whatever relation with my kids, whatever it is, and it's not.
What society wants, isn't it?
Yeah. And you see that you're not. Then you look at me. I could look at myself, my family, which has never been like that. And, of course, my mom's not here anymore. So this Thanksgiving was very, but here's what I did. I started off the day, went out in nature, did breathwork meditation, because I knew what to expect. I knew I was going to get triggered with the addiction stuff. Because that used to always, make me real depressed during holidays. And then my mom's not here. And then other factors going on right now. So I basically kind of just forced myself to rewire it. I wanted to just sit in bed and be depressed and, cry all day. But I said, man, I'm going to do something different. Because this is what I did in the past. And, it doesn't really do much for me. There's nothing wrong with feeling your emotions, crying. But I was like, I'm not going to sit in this state. So I went jogging in nature for, 2 hours. I just ran. I get all the emotions out. And, so I just did something different. Sometimes you just gotta, I call it a breakout method, right? You just kind of break out with something that's the complete opposite of what you were doing just to get yourself out of it. Some people have certain times of the year that trigger. Some people it's birthdays even, right? Some people it's Valentine's Day or whatever. Doesn't even matter, holidays or just life events. But if it's something that has been triggering you in the past, it's coming. Sometimes you gotta prepare for it so you're not, because once you get stuck in a state, it can be very hard to get out of it, and you could put yourself in a hole, really bad hole for a while. So, I did something different, which is good, but, working on all this stuff.
Yeah, it's, where have I gone? I get all this great stuff. I wrote my book, and I debuted my book, which was great. And now, I've got to keep the energy. You get the energy to get to your goal, and you've got to keep going.
Yeah.
And I think I got a bit I'm not overwhelmed, but I'm thinking to myself, all this shit that I'm doing, can I keep it up? And of course I can. Missing leads and all that. So I just have a problem, and this is where my issue is I act pretty quickly with everything. But I've got to get a formal balance of what's happening, I've got to sit there and write. And I'll tell you what, the most powerful thing I've got is this 50 cent book because I write everything down that I have to do. And I don't know, just I sit here and I'm going, yeah, what I got to do, you know? Yeah, I know what I've got to do next. But it's a case of you get to a point when you do it and you just, I say I don't procrastinate, but I do. But I don't know why. I don't know what it is. Maybe I get, excuse me, it's 6:30. I get to a point and then you do all the hard work, and when you get to that goal where you're sort of on that path where it's not, you got to that success, and then you go, okay, what do I do now? And I'm still learning how to be into that success, mode of what we do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but no, it's I guess I'm impatient to get to the end goal too, and I think, look, I'll be honest with you, because this has just been I think I'm cursed with it, because I know where it came from. It's I'm tired sort of thing. I'm buggered. Just like motivation sometimes, I don't know, but it's I know where it's come from. I'm fighting it. But the thing is, you put so much into yourself as well. So it's just a juggling act. I don't know. I'm sitting there sucking. I've got a better life, much better life than where I was.
Yeah.
And I think it's just basically getting there and doing what I got to do. And I'll be honest with you, you get overwhelmed and think, fuck, where do I start? And that's what happens, you know. Even simply, I've had a problem with websites, right, for my phys ed book. And I was trying to get onto someone in the States, but you can't get onto them because of the friggin' internet. And it took me an hour, and then I thought, why don't I just put something up easily on it, the linked basically, I could have done something easy, which I have. There's 2 websites. I can't get to one because it's not letting me in, but I've got one there that I can use. So basically what I've done is I've gone, okay, what's my best scenario at the moment? I fixed it, and it's okay for now.
Yeah.
But it took me nearly half a day to do work to get to that point, because it gets stubborn and stuck in your ways, you know. But then I went to a great spa. I do, obviously everyone knows I do costuming and charity work. So I went and did a special needs Christmas party yesterday, and that was just phenomenal.
Nice.
Excuse me, you can see all the photos. I might put it up on Full-Time Purpose, maybe.
Oh, that's nice.
I might do that because shows you off everything I do Nightwing from, obviously, from Titans.
Yeah.
And I will say all the push-ups I've been doing has worked. But yeah, it's a weird time. It's something, as you said before, it's like I guess the universe saying, okay, here you go, here's something you got to work on. And mine's basically, when you get successful, you got to keep going. Like, it's stop to get overwhelmed and just step back. You'll be okay. Everything's going to be okay. Excuse me 1 second. Keep going.
Yeah, I think it's when you're not used to having something really good in your life, when you're used to never-ending, like, traumatic stuff, heartbreak, all that stuff. When you have something good come, whether it's success, relationship, or like good, soulmate, whatever you want to call it, or even success with your business, or even success could be just feeling peace finally, right? Or even money, right? When we get to those things, like it seems like what comes up is the old stuff that's holding us back from being that version, right? So it's the test. It's like, all right, you say this, hey, you're really close, hey, you've done great work, cool, but what about this? And you're like, oh, man. You're like, and it's not always the exact same way you remember. It's like it hits you from an unexpected, like, level, or like an unexpected angle, right? And you're like, oh my god. And then it brings the heavy emotion or your feelings of doubt, insecurity, right? Because that's not who you normally have been majority of your life. So yeah, it's tough. I'm experiencing that as well, and I'm working through it, and I give myself credit. Look, I've came this far. I'm not gonna give up, but it just more
give yourself
awareness.
credit. Bloody hell.
It's awareness. It just bringing more awareness to, okay, well, this is what's needed. Because this is obviously a problem, or not a problem, but it's caused that much of an emotional reaction within me. So if it's triggering me that much, it's something I need to work on. If it triggers that much, it needs to be healed. You know what I mean?
Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is how quick it can be solved. Okay, this is how. Stay there, Bray. Anyway, it's my friend again. Anyway, inspiration in life. Even though he looks scary, he's inspiration in life. Trust me. Just worked out what I'm going to do, and this is where the power of writing down things is important to calm your mind. Here's a simple fact: I've got all the stuff that I do. Okay, and I'm every morning now. I'm going to write it on the top so I remember. So I write down all the key words because that's what triggers you. For me, anyway, triggers me there, so I can have a look and go, okay, what have I got to work on today? That's a good start.
Yeah, I should start doing that.
Oh, it still stresses me. Look, I'm stressing, going, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, and my mind is going 100 miles an hour. My friend, she goes, "You're a damn vampire, mate. You don't sleep." I go, "It's not a case of don't sleep. It's a case of calming your mind." And then look, at the end of the day, because I'm getting rid of this job too. Okay, so there's no real guaranteed income in some ways. I'll get work. It's no problem. This is what I got to. And it's a case of trust in the universe. Everything's going to be all right. I know that, but it's a case of getting into your new pattern.
Yeah.
As you said, getting into your new pattern, getting out of the old. And the thing is, you get out. You can say, "I'll go back to the old pattern and it'll work," but there's a reason why you're out of balance and where you've got to move.
Yeah.
It's a drain. I love to know where the bloody moon is or what's going on.
Oh yeah, Jupiter is going direct, but dude, that's supposed to be more optimistic because this is the last level, and once we get through this shit, this is like I believe it's gonna propel us way forward. But it just going through that era, it's like that painful feeling, man, deep at on a soul level. This is like some karmic. Good things are coming too. Hey, I can focus on what I do have and what I did learn, and I'm learning probably some of the most valuable lessons that I need for all the things I want in life. So that's great. But it's just more like, I just worked through all this, but it never ends. We're always on a healing process. We're on this earth for a reason because there are things we need to work on, right? Like we wouldn't be on Earth, even if we're light workers, whatever, we're starsies, whatever the hell we are. There's a reason why we were recycled into the 3D, right? Because there's stuff that needs resolved. So this is probably the farthest I've ever come in my karmic stuff. I do believe that, the most work I've done, the closest I am to what I'm at. So I'm not going to turn back around just because it gets a little bit uncomfortable, because I know on the other side of this is the life I want. I know for a fact. I know that,
Yes, it's it's like this trivia. I don't know. I just get overwhelmed with everything. I guess I don't know, but I don't know. I just got look. At the end of the day, we just got to do it. Do you still think we have a fear of loss? You and me and a few others, we're going through.
Yes.
We've gone through so much. Do you think we still have a fear of losing? They've given this opportunity, right? You've really fallen in love with it, and do you think we still fear losing it?
Yeah. And a lot of it, I think, it stems from childhood, right? Abandonment issues.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's emotional abandonment or physical abandonment, either way, it caused emotional trauma. So sometimes we can latch on to things more when we're afraid to lose them, or we're checking, is this too good to be true? That's kind of what's going on with me, some of the situations I'm in right now. And then because I went to go do that, then I look for evidence of something, right? And then it appeared because I'm looking for it. And the veil was thin, so I manifested because I thought about it. I fell into it. I believe that was, and then I created that experience. Now, is that the whole truth? There's a lot more to my particular experience, I think, what I know. But it's a perfect example of literally the thing I feared or was afraid of losing, in my face to trigger me. So I see it. I'm aware of it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just totally manifest that because I kept focusing on this, right? That probably wasn't even the big thing. But it's okay. Things are always changing, right? And I don't know the full thing behind what this thing was. I just went through my limited beliefs. I only saw through the lens of the trauma I experienced, right? I just saw it as this.
Yeah.
There could be a million other things going on, but I'm focusing on, because it brought up oh, I'm not worthy, oh, I'm not chosen, oh, everyone always leaves me. I literally have been feeling that way for a little while now. It's been coming up biting me, right? Because I've been trying to work on it, and it keeps like bringing situations that are, I wouldn't say it's true, but they are somehow, my brain is focusing on that aspect of it, and that's probably not the whole truth. So it's like, it's hard, man, because this is some really deep wound I have.
It's here we go. So this is moving. So I'm moving while I'm talking. I've got to just keep going. Look, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. Yeah, I don't know how to describe it. It's a real. It's just easy, just move and do what you got to do, but it's.
It's like, ouch, man. It's like, ooh, it's like, oh, I remember that burn. I was like, oh, it literally, like, I felt it in my body, right? In my solar plexus. It seems like a lot of my traumas in my solar plexus. And I had a flashback of, like, some memories I had, that were like, I was like, oh, man, this is coming back again. And I was like, I really thought I had worked. I really thought this was done, but obviously, no. Hey, I'm getting closer, but damn. I mean, I still didn't react as bad as I usually. I reacted for a little bit, but then I chilled out. Before, old Diana would have gone and done some really toxic behaviors because of this, right? And I didn't.
Yeah.
I did something else more healthy for me, so that's great. But it still had an emotional, like, it's that feeling in the pit of your stomach, like, that hurt feeling, man. Horrible.
I think we just got to let it go.
Yeah.
And just go with it.
Yeah.
I mean, we've done so much work, and I think we both have, and I think all of us in this group have a fear of, in some ways, fear of losing the hard things we've worked for. You're given a chocolate cake, and you don't want to lose it, or you're given something that you really love, like this is something you want to do for the rest of your life, and you don't want to lose it. We just got to let go. Funny, I had a
that's all you
photo.
can do, man, because the more you attach to it, the more you're causing resistance, and it's literally just causing you pain because your attachment to it. It's like attachment to past suffering it's not really in this moment, but your brain's trying to bring you back, like, oh, remember this? Oh, it's trying to keep you safe, right? So it's like, oh, look, here's a sign. This is what's going on. You need to stay safe, right? So you need to leave the situation. Oh, this is your excuse for you to give up or whatever, right? That's what's going on.
Just trying to keep your energies up. So I sit there and get overwhelmed or something. Go, just do what you got to do, and that's it. If it doesn't work out, leave it, let it go. I think this is the big.
Yeah.
No, I look. I believe it's not. I don't know how. It's just. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's just. No, it's hard to. I don't even know what it is. It's just like, I guess I've got so many little jobs and projects going on in the background, and making sure I don't lose focus on what I've got to do. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. That's rude of me. I guess. Look, it's just weird. I think we just shut the hell up and just do it. There you go. How's that? We get to that point in life. We step away. Who cares? You have to do that, or you drive yourself bloody crazy. You go, look. I won't lie to you. I curse the people that I curse myself for letting these people affect me, where I think about them the way they treated me. I still have it. Yeah. When something doesn't go right and all that stuff and all that, and then these people were supposed to help me, but they didn't. It's a weird situation, but at least now I'm aware of it. I don't know, just yeah. And it's not a case, I'll go and rest and sit down. Yeah, resting's not. It's not about resting. It's about moving slowly. It's just stepping back. That's all.
I think yeah, because I think for both of us, it's hard for us to completely rest. And some of these are like emotional trauma responses. keep it moving, right?
That's a good way of putting emotional traumas. But
it's like you don't want to feel it as much. So the more you focus and keep moving forward, it hit a dopamine to your brain. Completed this, I did this. Oh, I got this uploaded. I got this. I'm doing this project. But then sometimes what happens is we end up avoiding some of the emotions that are underlying that drive to do that. So then it can feel like it's crashing, and then you're like, oh, then you feel emotionally burnt. I still have this underlying all this stuff, and yeah, I think it's not about stopping because it's not in my nature to just sit and rest for a super long period of time, but I am just slowing down and resting kind of in spurts. Like here, okay, I'm gonna chill for a couple hours and just lay down, and then I'll go back to what I'm doing. I don't need to record 2 videos. I'll do 1. You know what I mean? I'm just kind of just easing down a little bit because for me, if you go full speed at something like I do and then you just completely stop, it doesn't feel natural because I'm not used to doing that.
I think the other thing is we're not used to it.
Yeah.
We put all this work and we get to it, we don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Well, what I mean is we're going to keep that same energy when we do get to an end goal because there's another end goal coming.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you look deeper, as Russell Brand says. Look, what's the key here? Ours is, being told we're not good enough, but failing, being forced, being in a way where we understand failure because we got put. It's been embedded into our systems in some ways,
Yeah.
from indirectly from other people or whatever it may be, But and the other thing for me, one is rejection and stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Like making the full rejection is not going to work. All that stuff. I mean, I see how much I was. I don't know how I've got through these friggin' 48 and a half years I've been on this bloody planet with the amount of bloody people that I won't go on my high horse, but the amount of people that I have attracted, and that meme you put in is exactly right. That meme you put on is exactly right. You do control it. We didn't know we had control until about 4 years ago. Yeah. Yes, and the sun comes out and says to me, "Yeah, everything's going to be all right." Yes, I know. Don't worry.
I know that deep down, but it doesn't make it in the moment. It's like
doesn't make it any easier.
It's like that feeling. It's like you're fighting it. I was like, oh man, I don't want this to keep doing that.
Yeah, exactly. It's a case of look, we just got to do what we're going to do each day. I think.
We just have to keep staying. I think we made videos in the past on this, right? Like staying on your path, no matter what. We are on the path, man. We're good. Like, there's gonna be some hurdles, but we still have a vision of where it's going. We just have to keep the vision. It's okay if we slow down. It's okay if we veer off a little bit. It's okay if we go backwards into past negative thinking patterns. Because, like I said, that vibration of that old self is very strong, man. It's trying to come back. It's like, yo, this new version is not strong enough. I'm like, no, it is strong enough. So
it is strong enough. We're just basically trying to heal everything that we've gone through,
It's more so letting go, man. It's not always so much fighting against something. It's kind of like, can I let one thing affect my whole day, my whole life, everything I've been working for? Am I going to let this... Yeah. It's like, okay, yes, this did bother me a lot in the past, and before I might have reacted really bad to this. I don't need to let this destroy me. Okay, it's okay if I'm a little bit triggered. It's okay to feel emotions. It's okay to not feel okay. It's okay to feel to cry even about it, because it's like my inner child felt like it was being attacked again.
But Greg Riley and Michael, hi, how are you guys? Yeah, so here we go. One of your teachings is...
I think I need a shadow.
Okay, that's great. You acknowledge it. Now get over it.
You know what? I'm not getting in the victim mentality. Okay, I'm going to take responsibility. No, we're not I can literally change my reality by changing the way I respond to the situation. I can literally...
There you go.
Shift.
I was going to say choice.
Yeah.
Choice. Yes. It's, and look, Mars is still in retrograde too, so there's going to be spot fires.
Yeah, you're right. Mars is in retrograde. But,
So it's still spotties coming up, so... But, they do it, and they say, oh, we're doing this for the betterment of you. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I know you do, but it's still not easy. You know what I mean? But we're coming out of the Matrix anyway, so, we're coming out anyway, so, I mean, I don't know. It's just like we're flat.
I think self-care is more important than ever right now, and I notice since when I'm feeling that way already, I can feel that irky feeling. I allow myself to cry. I've been crying a lot, and it helps. That's a form of release, So I allow myself to get over, but I'm not sitting there laying in my bed all day depressed and not taking care of myself,
No, we don't do that. That's
so,
right.
I have this green juice, right? I went to the gym this morning. I went to the gym first thing in the morning. I did breath work, meditation. I'm on it. I'm like, all right, well, that's the best I can do. I did everything I could, and now I just have to sit and let time pass, let things unfold naturally, not try to force shit, not try to control situations or thinking I know what's going on when I maybe know this much of it,
I'm going through my head and this is where I'm going to change my mentality of what if this.
That's
because
it.
you can't control it, which I know. Don't get me wrong, but you got your brain patterns and your mental being that has been charged so many times. And when you get to there, and the first thing I do is you get a nice lead or something happens, you go, oh, what if I lose it, or what if this doesn't work? You get to a point where you're trying to impress people, and then you go, it just goes like that. But Jordan Peterson, I watch a lot of him. He's awesome. And he tells you about the inner animal, about protecting your inner child. You need to be that animal, not to hurt people, but to protect you. There's two different stories.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's the shadow, embracing the shadow. To be that shadow.
Yeah.
And to embrace it. As I look at the person sitting on this microphone, you can go in deep into how many people have split personalities and all those kind of things, but it's a case of embracing the part of them that is strong and knowing that you're not looking to hurt anyone, don't get me wrong, but you're not looking to hurt anyone, but they're there to help you get people to hurt you too, so you got to work out, so you're learning how to say no and bugger off to people who are hurting you and how to stand up for yourself pretty much with that inner animal or demon or whatever you want to call it. Oh, I said the word. Jordan Peterson says you got to do it. You have to be that animal or be that demon or whatever, or be that part of yourself that needs to protect the mother instinct. Maybe it's the divine feminine that protects. It's a motherly instinct or the motherly instinct. I look at the lines again. Motherly instinct to protect their young, or masculine is you protect the pride and protect what they're doing. So protect their pride and protect their place of living. We have to bring that shadow out. And Jordan says that, but he says not to hurt people. But people go, oh, what if, people say I don't want to go there, but you have to. You have to. You can't be a doormat.
Yeah, and I think for me, it's balancing that masculine and feminine energy, right? So I'm finding myself, I'm used to being that masculine energy, the kind of tough, so I don't want to be vulnerable, be hurt. So then I finally started to be vulnerable in certain circumstances, right? When I usually wouldn't be. And then I felt like my feminine energy was threatened. I felt like, oh man, this is starting to hurt again. And why? I have to ask myself, why is this triggering me, right? But I wanted to go all super masculine energy. So I'm learning to I have said what I thought. So I put some masculine energy, but I also put the feminine. Sat back and I said, okay, well, this situation needs space or whatever. I agree that this does, so I can reflect a little more as well. And that actually worked better than me just going off yo, blah, blah, blah. You ain't got whatever on me, how dare you treat me that kind of energy behind my saying. That's what I said. But in situations where it's kind of a very masculine, more aggressive. So I caught myself doing that. And then I stepped back. I said just something in a neutral way without being too nasty. And I sat back and I just stepped back. And that's hard for me, man. That's not in my nature. So it was balancing the feminine and masculine. So I still set the boundaries, right? But then I kind of sat back. I didn't go in attack or super defense mode. I did for a second, and then I was I pulled it back. But that's hard for me, man. Because that's trauma. That's probably trauma in my past, man. Multiple forms of trauma like that. Defense, man. I'm trying to keep myself safe, but I was I don't always need to put my guard up so much. Maybe I have to understand someone else's perspective where they're coming from, and maybe that's more the feminine energy sometimes. Be more compassionate. Not to say I let someone walk over me, treat me like a doormat, but having a boundary, just putting it out there, and then kind of stepping back, not trying to push a boundary, trying to say, oh, you need to treat me like this, or I'm worth more than that. You know, that's like how I used to talk. So it's kind of like, it's different. But I'm learning. This is so completely out of my, like, comfort zone. Completely out of my comfort zone.
Yep. I have a serious block about failure and being told not good enough. And I see how deep this is now, how traumatic
it is.
Man.
It's a wound.
No, it's like I've been stabbed bad.
Yeah.
You know?
Same, yeah.
I can see it now. Anything I try to do, that's the block. So I've got to beat this block. I'll do it. Look, at the end of the day, we're moved to where we're going to move to. I hadn't done this podcast. I wouldn't be clear on that now. I'll be honest with you. I got up now. Yeah.
I'm glad that we talk, man. I was feeling like real bad.
Here we go, and everyone else hears it. Thank you very much for being our counselors today, ladies and gentlemen.
It's like, this is real stuff, because this is what's coming up. When we say what's going on with the ascension, what's going on with, like, the divine masculine feminine needs healing, there are going to be situations that are coming up to trigger that, right? To trigger you to step into the divine masculine, divine feminine, right? But really, we're supposed to have a balance of those energies, right? So, for me, a balance is stepping more into my feminine, because I'm so used to stepping the masculine energy majority of my life. A little bit of feminine, but mostly masculine. Now, the balance is step into the feminine, and it seems like when I have been a little more vulnerable, kind of more receptive, not so defensive, and with my guard up, it has worked out better, but I have to give it patience. It's not, part of that energy is also, like, not needing that instant gratification, not being, like, forceful, like, it's a flowy energy. It's not like, oh, I'm going to force this person to act like this because this person's not treating me or not the way I want to be treated at this particular moment. You know, I'm not getting what I want right now, you know, so it's like, very aware of it. See, I couldn't even see that before, you know? So this is a big step that I can see, and I'm like, oh, but, like, I bite my tongue, so I was like, oh, I want to say so much more, but I was like, what is that going to do, man? It's going to literally push me farther away from the thing I want, you know?
I need things in front of me because I forget, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's a case of, and you can see the trauma, really, when you really realise it. I mean, I go on about it, but today's a realisation of the deep trauma that I've gone through with you know, having your self-esteem and your self-confidence ripped from you. People go, oh, you're so confident and all that, you know, you come out and do what you got to do, but mate, that's a lot of hard work to where I was, you know, being different and all those kind of things. Now it sort of hit me. Because there's still, and look, something I've got to work on is let go and forgiveness on a couple of levels. There's, you know, it still comes up. I guess you have to learn that, you know, they're not going to affect you anymore. I think you get more upset with yourself, really, more than anything. It still does, and you have to accept triggers as well. So there's one thing for you, accepting triggers. You don't have to say you hate the person or anything. Well, hate's a powerful word, but I guess you hate yourself for letting that person take you over. Still, you know,
I think that's what it is. Like, I'm like, oh, it would have been so much better if I just didn't react, if I just played back and be cool. But but here's the thing, I did have something that said, because this particular situation I'm talking about, I feel like my boundaries were a little bit, I feel like it was a little bit violated. It was kind of out of line, and I did feel like I needed to say something, but I didn't say it with as much, like, aggression. I was just like, well, I noticed this, and this made me feel this way, so I just wanted to clarify with you, instead of me being like, yo, that's what the old Diana would do. But I did. I
was going to let it go. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to let it go. There's one thing that triggers me.
We can't control it. And we have to understand, they probably have some unhealed too. That I'm not saying excuses everything.
But they're human beings as well. But as I said, if I see certain people that trigger me, and I guess look, in saying that, the trigger's not as bad, don't get me wrong. It doesn't come up nowhere near as often. Nowhere near. But when you get to a point, you get to that, you go to that spate, you go to that point, and you go, yeah, that's the feeling I had when I had this thing with this person. You think,
Yeah, that's
and then you
exactly what came
go,
up. Yeah.
oh, how's everything going? Or they go, and you just want to go, how about you just, oh, look, I just want to tell people to fuck off, let's be honest. But I don't say anything because my mouth is just, my mouth can get me into a lot of trouble. That's why I'm so glad I'm in a wasp band. Anyway, my mouth can get me into a lot of trouble.
And that's my
Mate.
problem,
And that's
man.
why,
Yeah.
that's why mate, people,
Yes.
when I tell people what I can say, when I get into that zone, probably bring the shadow out, but you see, you got to control that shadow. You got to have that on a leash to a point where you can control it and stand up, like Jordan Peterson says, and be strong without being detrimental to yourself and others. You still got that care, but you got to have that same care you have for
Yeah.
others, that same care for you, if not
Oof.
more. If that makes any
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Instead of just going out, yeah, I mean, you know, no, you can look at it and go, yeah, oh, you go, can't even stand on the side of you, mate. Just go, you know, can't. It's just that's all I can say. I go, how you going? I go, oh yeah, better that you're not in my life. Bugger off. I have no. My mates reckon I got no standards and no shame. That's pretty much where, and I yeah. And they go, yeah, good thing you're keeping your mouth shut. I go, yeah, I know. It looks like I'm crying in a corner. I go, nah, I'm protecting myself in this case. You don't, then people who know me will do that. But this is a chat we go through with the shadow. As I said, get on the Jordan Peterson guys. I talk about him a fair bit, but he's really helped me understand the power of the shadow and what it means to us as people and how we can utilize it. And you have to be that animal. You have to be that demon that's in there, the shadow that's there, because it is part of us. And everyone goes, oh, it's bad to do that. I go, no, it's not bad if you're actually out to intently hurt someone. But think about, are you going to let people hurt you? Think about it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to say anything, but they're going to let you. They're going to give you 5 punches, and you go, yes, sir, please, can I have some more, right? I don't want to hit you because you're going to get hurt, but I'm getting hurt too. So think about it that way, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to let them hit 5. Are you going to let them hit you 5 times, and you're going to get your guard up and throw one back off? So you throw it, you don't hit them. You get right, if that makes any sense. You get where I'm going with that.
Yeah.
So you don't actually hit them, but you give them a bit of a warning. Go, listen, goodbye. You know?
I think I am doing that. See, I mean, for me, it's like, I also have to say what I think. If you don't communicate, like, how are they supposed to know? Like, you don't know where. So you got to kind of set the boundary way to do it without coming off toxic or angry, because then you're not going to get the result. So it's kind of like trying to be a neutral person. Even when you're triggered, sometimes you might have to take a step back and respond, but you might be in a situation where it's kind of hard not to. Whatever you can do to kind of neutralize, I know is better, because the more emotion we add to this, if the outcome doesn't come out good, we're not heading a solution. We're just getting us pissed off, giving them more energy, and we're creating a negative, like, dynamic. So it's like,
but your key point is basically you can still stand up. We have to, because as I said, I'll go back to Jordan, what he said one day in one of his things: don't take shit but don't hurt anyone. Yes, I know. Thank you. To see the white light.
Yeah.
That's what Jordan says, and it's right. We've got the animal on the leash, and we haven't had control of it.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, we can go down the next path. The shadow actually embraces and overtakes people, and they don't know how to control it. But we're all good people. Everyone's good in a way. It depends how you look at it. But you still got to embrace your shadow. You know what I mean? But yeah, I guess in a way too, you have to get yourself out of a situation that is creating that feeling for you as well, if you can avoid it or whatever. But I know, look, I pulled the tower a couple of months ago before this, when this Mars retrograde started. Everything's ending, man. Everything's ending. The cycles are ending. All right, probably going into June, going into January, we'll have a different outlook on stuff. I think we have definitely a different outlook on things. We'll look back on this podcast It's been a good one. Been a really good one. One of our better ones, actually. Yeah, well, thanks very much for tuning into this episode of Life Theories. This really deep episode of Life Theories with Boy George Way from Karma Chameleon and the Colour by Numbers album, really good. Thank you very much, Diana, for all you do for our community. And yes, peace out. I'm Jay from Journey of a White Feather. I'll be doing season 2 out now of Journey of a White Feather. Really enjoying doing that because I don't have to do as many PowerPoints. So it's a little bit quicker, which is great. Trailblazer of the Universe with Diana. She's all over social media. You can't miss her. And we've got Small Sarah Big Soul. Got it right. Cop that.
Oh, my God.
She won't put a spell on me, Raven. Anyway, yeah, Starfire. That's Diana Starfires. Anyway, yeah, Raven, otherwise known as Sarah, otherwise known as Small Sarah Big Soul on YouTube, TikTok, and other social media platforms. And the big fella, yes, Batman. We got to get the signal out. The Nightwing signal's out. Batman signal's out. Where are you, my friend? Love you, mate. Spiritual Needs TV. I know he's doing a lot of spiritual work and a lot of inner work now. He did send me a message, so he will be back very, very soon. Thank you so much for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. And I hope you have a lovely day. And remember, embrace your shadow. And you are as good as what you are, and you damn well know it. Remember that. And success is success is even getting up in the morning and living your life. Remember that. Yep. Don't let anyone else tell you that. There you go. Take care. Peace out.
Bye.
We love you, and we'll see you next week for Life Theories. Take care.